because there was no way. It's either fight or flight, and I had to flee. And by the time I felt the cement on my elbows. I knew I was okay.
And that man describing once he got outside, as the minutes progressed, a lot of these people, some of them ran down to the hospital, which was just a few blocks away. Other people stayed to try to help some of these victims as they were coming out of the nightclub. Some who were pulled out, who had died, they described a parking lot nearby where they were being covered and tagged as the police arrived, and as they were kind of tallying up the number of victims. It's just unbelievable, the amount of victims in this shooting when you think of the deceased as well as the injured, calling it one of the largest, if not the worst, mass shooting in the United States. Tamon and Judy.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. And as police mentioned, Orlando's police chief mentioned that is one of the top priorities at this point is to begin this process of IDing the victims. No estimate as to how long it will take, but it will be a very long process. They described the scene inside that nightclub as just overwhelming, a very bloody, chaotic scene. We are also waiting to hear, about 45 minutes from now, we are supposed to hear from President Obama. He did put out a White House statement, and that's also at about the same time we expect to hear from law enforcement in Orlando to try to get more information as to what they have learned since the last briefing, which was I think
20 minutes ago.
Yeah. But we did just a few minutes ago hear from Florida Governor Rick Scott telling reporters this is clearly an act of terrorism. He told reporters that this is sickening and it should make every American angry.
Governor Scott calling it heart-wrenching, also urging people to donate blood. He says officials are doing everything they can. He says this massacre, clearly an act of terrorism. To take that number of lives is clearly an act of terror, said the Florida governor. Officials are investigating whether, in fact, it was terrorism. And we heard some details about the shooter from his father, telling the Associated Press that a few months ago the shooter saw two gay men kissing, and that his father felt that this could be related to this incident. And so authorities will try to get to the bottom of this to see if it is, in fact, a hate crime and terrorism. Just a hate crime. They will sort all of that out. It's very early to know at this point, but they're trying to figure out what happened, and also if he acted alone, if there could be more involvement, exactly how he came to be, if in fact he was radicalized. Was that something that happened overseas? We know we heard from officials who said that it appears there's some ISIS connection to this or Islamic terror connection to this.
You know, in addition to Florida's governor, we also heard from Florida Senator Bill Nelson. He addressed the media twice, just very briefly. Let's go ahead and here's a little bit of what he had to say.
What is happening to our country? We are going to have to dig down deep and ask ourselves who we are as a people. We've got to think of ourselves as the common denominator of Americans, not a hyphenated American or off on some cause. And that's what we've got to explore deep inside at this point.